me say good morning. Let me say good morning to the entire Trial Estate, Grenada. Our sister isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hope all is well. Let me say good morning to viewers this morning via GBN TV, Channel 7, Channels 11 and 20. Thanks for taking the opportunity to tune in this morning. I hope you all is well with all of those of you who are tuned in this morning via GBN Television. Let me say good morning also to those of you listening via K105. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Whether you're in the northern part of the island, the southern part of the island. As a matter of fact, we cover the entire Tri-Island. So let me say good morning to those of you listening via radio. Good morning. Also, our viewers via, of course, our social media platform. That's Facebook. Those of you via the Grenada Broadcasting Network Facebook page. Let me say good morning to you. Or you're probably listening us or viewing us via the third-party sources. Let me say good morning to you also. Thank you so much for being part of it. It's to the point for today, Tuesday. It's the 23rd day of August 2022. Welcome to one and all once again, and thanks for taking the opportunity to be with us this morning. Hey, we're grabbing an open line segment this morning. That's what we're going to be doing today. Have no particular guest with us this morning, so we're going to open up the phone lines. There have been lots happening last week, over the weekend. You know, the start of this week was just in the second day of the week, more or less. There's lots have happened. And you probably want to chime in with your, of course, make a particular comment this morning pertaining to a particular issue that was been going around that you've been kind of pondering on your mind just a wee bit, and you want to speak out about it. We certainly will be welcoming your phone calls. You know the number, 435-2041, 435-2041. Your phone calls are certainly welcomed. And I would like to encourage you to keep your comments short, yes, to the point, yep, and so that we could accommodate as much callers as possible. So, folks, the phone lines are open now. Yes, I think I already disengaged it already. So 435-2041. So let me know what's in the buzz this morning. We opened for a variety of topics this morning that you would like to speak about. Yes, just get into some conversation about various topics. That would help also in terms of nation building. And so your comments certainly will be welcome in terms of things you like to talk about. As I said, no specific topic is on the agenda this morning. It's an open line. So we got our very first caller that we'd like to entertain. Let's go over to the phone line and say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning and how are you?
Good morning, I'm fine. I just want to say something about Kirani James Boulevard. I want the government to do something. It's becoming an eyesore. Too many great business places have been putting up there, rotten boats at the back. They use the back as a toilet. Another issue again is the road in front of the stadium. Mm-hmm. There's a guy doing welding right in the street. Further down, there's a mechanic guy repairing cars in the street. I would like the government or whoever to do something about it, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your comment and concern this morning. Caller 435-2041, 435-2041. Your phone calls are ready. That caller, they had a bit of concern pertaining to that road in is it more or less to the back of the stadium? There's a particular shop there doing the welding. There's a mechanic shop. He has a bit of concern pertaining to that. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and how are you? Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Go right ahead.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay, sir. Go right ahead.
This morning what I want to speak about is housing.
Would you mind lowering your radio or television, whatever source that is playing in the background? Could you lower it, please, before we continue?
Okay.
Much better.
All right. Okay. Housing. As we know, the former government built some houses in a lot of the provinces and on the island. Mm-hmm. And the keys is already handed over to the former government. So I guess this government will have it. But the matter is that when they handed over those keys, a lot of the people that sent in application for those houses, they came to this handover. Okay? And what they was told was that there is more people than houses to give up. they said there was thousands of more applications than houses. Okay? Now, this government is still asking people to apply for those houses where there is thousands of more application in. Okay? And I think that's wrong. If anybody have to do anything about those houses, is the people that been applying for these houses since around 2020. Let them get those houses. If there was more houses than application, I could have seen that they asked people to apply again. But when there is thousands of more houses, application than houses, putting more application on those that is there is wrong. Now, during the election, this government tell the people that they will give them houses. Now, I think to give these people houses, you have to build houses. And don't let people apply for new houses again, okay?
Okay.
So, the government is there, right? God allow this government to be in there, and Grenadians have to respect the government. But the government have to do things that is right to the Grenadians. Okay? I don't want nobody disrespecting the government, because this is our government.
Okay.
And God allowed them to be there. They didn't go there by themselves. When God do something, we have to honor it. Okay?
Okay, Colin.
And I think he should honor the people that are already applied for those houses. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. And that caller was alluding to that the housing that were given out by the previous administration. More or less, I'm speaking about those houses that the Chinese might have built. And he's saying that they were told that there were more people applying for houses more than the houses available. So I kind of get a drift of the way he was leading to, but let's grab another call. Let's grab another caller this morning before we continue. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning, fine. I have an observation. Right at the corner of George Patterson Street and Victoria Street, Grenville, which will be exactly at the corner of the Grenada Cooperative Bank, there is a very dangerous, well, I don't know how to call it. It's like a little ditch from the roadworks, and it is a disaster waiting to happen. I don't know who should be looking at it, but it needs urgent attention.
Okay. Well, I certainly hope someone in authority is listening to the program this morning and they may be able to address that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. And if it's dangerous, someone should really look into it. I'm assuming it's been there for a while. It's not something that just developed just overnight. So someone should certainly look into that. Let's go back to the telephone line. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Glenn. I'm okay.
All right.
The caller who called, not the last one, concerning the houses, I agree with him to some extent, but they should not be taking more applications because there are a lot of applications.
I agree.
But what they should be doing is really analyze it carefully and don't let it look like a partisan and so on. Because people were saying the last time they gave away a lot of houses was for a lot of NNP people that they gave these houses. Supporters, right? That should not be like now. I don't know if it's a lot of NNP people applied, but they should really scrutinize who they are giving the houses and make sure they are giving the houses to people who really need the house. Because, for example, in Mongi, I don't want to alarm anything. There are a lot of people who are working and they have good jobs and they're still in the houses because they support the party, the previous party. That should not have been. And there are a lot of people who really need the house, whether you are NNP or you are NDC and you should get the houses. That's a problem we are having here now.
All right.
So these houses are...
Well, I'm still trying to understand in terms of what you said. Someone is working and they got a house, but sometimes you
No. What I'm saying, Glenn, there are people who could afford even to build a house, and there are people worse off than them, and they can't get the house.
Well, under those circumstances, that I understand, but you know, sometimes, say, because somebody has a job doesn't necessarily mean they can still build a house. Sometimes the job may not support them.
Yes.
Able to build a house still, even though you do have a job. You understand?
Yes, I understand. But what I'm referring to, there are people in more need. That's why people look at the houses.
That I understand. That is
the fundamental point I want to bring forward. That they should scrutinize properly and don't let it look like because you support a party and you could afford to build a house, you're going to get a house because they are cheap. You understand the point I'm making? Make sure that person really needs the houses. There are a lot of single parents here who they can't afford it. And these houses going for about 30,000, whatever they get it.
All right.
The last point I want to make, I want to be so brief. I think they should do like I saw it in Cuba, and they usually save spaces when I went to other countries. Build more apartments instead of just building all these houses scatter all about. They should try to build more apartments, buildings, small buildings with various apartments, so you will save the land space. You understand? Some people do not like to live in apartments, but then you don't have a choice. I think it would be better building more apartments than building out single.
You have a point, but there's a certain architectural design that this country building code goes by. You understand? And that may not work.
I'm not referring to the big skyscrapers. I'm referring to about 4 or 5 stories, stairs.
All right.
That's what I'm referring to.
Point taken, caller. Thanks once again for contributing. 435-2041, 435-2041. We're taking your phone calls. We do have another caller. Calls are coming pretty quick this morning. Good morning to you, call. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, quickly, the matter of the housing. I think that I agree that we have to be very careful and we have to make sure that there is no hint that there is any partisan, I would say, component in terms of the distribution of the housing. And I respect the fact that some people have applied a long time ago and are waiting for response, but there are cases where it cannot be first come, first serve. Cannot be. It has to be based on needs. Who needs the house and deserves it most? And like someone hinted, before there were people probably who did not deserve, who got it because of affiliation. There might have also been people who were hesitant to apply, although they needed, because they felt that they would not be considered. So yes, we have to look at those who were there before. But first come, first serve cannot be the only applied principle in this case. And it's in the place of the government, the new administration, to review the whole thing, consider those who were there before, but also the bottom line must be on need.
All right.
And not on who was asked before.
Thanks for your contribution, caller. That's it. All right. Is that's the end of your contribution this morning? That's it?
No, that's it. That's all.
Right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 435-2041. We're taking your phone calls. Seem to be the dominant conversation this morning is housing. And not sure if anyone else have another topic that would like to, of course, contribute on this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Yes, Mr. Telephone, good morning. I beg to deviate. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry. I beg, yes, I wish to make reference to a program this morning, probably an hour ago, that came through on your network. I wish to commend the people who promoted it. I wish to commend the contributors. Excellent conversation. And you know something? This is precisely the level of conversation we need to have in the mornings, in the afternoons, whenever in this here country. Introducing Grenadians who know of the subject matters, various subject matters. We need to speak of the things of this country related to our history or heritage to go beyond history. I congratulate Mr. Green on his comments But I must indeed say that I was enthused by the efforts, by the contributions made by Mr. Mohammed, one David Mohammed. I wish I can have a chat with that. I'll try to reach him. But importantly, while I rung up here and speak a little faster, what came out there, especially in the contributions of the hosts of the program, is our ignorance of the true history of this country, particularly the young people 30, 40 years. It is evident that the host was so surprised in some of the things that this gentleman spoke about there this morning. And worse yet, when he drew reference to how certain people in the Caribbean denigrate our own people and the efforts, the suffering of the years. One of the hosts jumped in and introduced how people look down on jab. Just imagine that. A man is trying to highlight on a day like today remembrance of slavery and its abolition. And we have hosts jumping in how we look down on jab. I want you, if you see the quote-unquote disconnection, and I want to highlight, I wish these people would listen and learn and pay attention. We have to disconnect this ridiculous issue of jab and the history of the people of this here country. And I invite them to take on this sort of subject matter and others related to the country. I encourage this radio station to go into the village, interview the people, bring out things about the people, their history, their current lives, all the things that they live and feel, to help to educate and uplift. But finally, I want to say that what comes out there this morning is the need for us to understand that we're still enslaved. We're still enslaved. Today, we still kowtow to a queen. We live under an imperial order and council of the Queen's most excellent majesty, and we feel good with that. Just because some of us get quote-unquote accolades, Her Majesty's this and Her Majesty towers and ball haulers to Her Majesty the Queen and the British Empire. We had to move away from that. It's just about time. We cannot be hypocrite to the history while we're doing something and adulating all the things that kept us as we are, brought us as we are, and is keeping us as we are. New constitution, no, we have to move away from association with the Queen. It is just about time. Grenadiers, open your God-blessed eyes and let mine be the goddamn ones. Thank you very much, Mr. Telesphone. Have a nice day with you.
You too, sir. Have a good day yourself. 435-2041. We'll continue with your phone calls after the break. It's To The Point.
Communal cooperatives, it's a...
This could be out. Brilliant catch. What a stunning catch.
The biggest party in sports, the Caribbean Premier League, is back and live on GBN television. Capture the energy, excitement, and euphoria of the beloved game. 34 matches, 6 teams, only one to be crowned champion. The action starts August 31st and runs until September 30th. Live on GBN television at K105.5 and 105.9. It's no carnival, but you will enjoy the mass.
And you're kidding me! You are kidding me! Alzari chose.
Safety is always a top priority, and this is no different from the COVID-19 vaccines.
The COVID vaccines that we have available are very effective and safe, and it is very important for elderly persons and frontline.
welcome back. It's To The Point for today, Tuesday, the 23rd day of August. And it's another open line segment today, folks, in terms of we taking your phone calls, 435-2041, where you had an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts and concerns, make a point pertaining to something that you would think or an issue you think needs to be spoken about. Let's go back to the phone line. We lost that caller there, 435-2041. Welcome back to our viewers via GBN TV also, and those of you via K105. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope the authorities are listening. Not the political
I've sort of losing you a wee bit there, caller. I'm not sure if you're speaking a little too. Hearing you good now? Stay close to your phone.
You can hear me now?
Go right ahead, caller.
Yeah. I hope the authorities are listening because we have an ongoing issue here in Grenada with people dumping their stuff on other people's property, and I think that needs to stop. It's just not right, and it's not just like little items like mango skin and banana peels and kind of stuff like that you can easily take care of. It's like big items, like big tree branches with a lot of thorns on them and so on, and that's not right. Because then whose responsibility it is now to remove those things and to get it all the way in the dump? So I think the powers, the authority need to address this problem in a serious way.
So, caller, you say that individuals are dumping their garbage per se on private property?
Yes. I'm talking about, I don't know the name of the trees, but there are some trees with a lot of the 1-inch thorns on them and so on. You can't really, it's not like little grass and stuff like that, and big tree trunks, branches and so on. And literally reclaiming it from an area and dumping it on somebody else's property. Okay,
well, that's not right. That's totally not right. Somebody hope the authorities will listen, or you could probably get in contact with the authorities and share your concerns pertaining to that and see how that could be rectified.
Right, and the painful thing is someone just paid a whole bunch of money to get all those things clear from the property, only to find a few months later that stuff starts piling up again.
I understand. That is not right. All right, caller. I certainly hope this problem could be rectified as soon as possible. 435-2041. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning to you. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Hello?
Yes, go right ahead with your contribution.
I am calling concerning the issue of fireworks.
Fireworks.
Now, although the fireworks is spectacular to look at. My problem is it is the sound of this display. You see, these things are made with military hardware. So although it is used for recreational purpose, we must admit that it creates fear and panic with the loud metallic song of war against our human and animal population. So I here will say that there are countries that regulate the use of fireworks, where the songs of the display is modified to a certain standard of human tolerance. For example, countries in Europe are doing that at the moment. So I would like we in Grenada to have a discussion on the topic if an environmentalist and people concerned about cruelty to dumb animals.
All right.
I think that's my contribution this morning.
Thank you very much, caller, for your contribution this morning. Certainly understand where that caller is coming from there. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit to your personal annoyance in terms of when these fireworks do go off. But sometimes we understand the reasons behind it. But sometimes the close proximity to to communities per se, that could be a bit of an issue there. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, caller. Will you lower your radio or television, please?
I'm lowering it. I lower it. Yeah.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Different device I use. Anyway, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, yes. First of all, I want to really commend GBN this morning, led by Christy and Gary, to that conversation that was held. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of conversation I've been trying to encourage over the years. Deep conversation. You don't have to agree with whatever is said, but it can help to lift your level of consciousness and deepen your level of understanding. There's something, Dr. David, Dr. Mohammed mentioned about one of our past leaders, which I thought was maybe the only distasteful thing, because he said about some Africa CARICOM summit that was held last in September, and which the former leader attended virtually. The thing about it, I remember at that time, leading up to that, I'm one of those people who was asking the question or trying to get as many people as possible to know about that. Nothing was done from the Grenada point of view. Nothing. People only heard about that after. So I think it's a disgrace. I cannot forget one of the first major photographs or public image that this former leader shared with the public was a photograph with himself and 7 leaders, the leader of the G7, not CARICOM leaders. In 1989, for Christmas, an almanac was done in which this gentleman was seen smiling among the group of the G7 leaders. I will say no more about that. But in terms of linking what we need to do to decolonize our mind, there's so many things where that we've been disoriented, we've been we're not, for instance, in the first instance, we've been taught that part of ourselves is way in the distance, somewhere in heaven, somewhere in it, and it had to come. And, we are told that God is out there. God is within. This is the African understood that. So we're still looking for God outside us. And so we have a problem with that. And then we make our indigenous religion, whether it's voodoo or Obia or Shango, so we make it evil without trying to understand it. And I think so anything African or dark is considered evil. Black people are afraid to call it black. There's a lot of things we have to really write in our minds. This morning, one of the songs I heard Chrissy play was Emancipate Ourselves from Mental Slavery. Yes, we need to do that, but from what are we replacing it with? And also, it's not just mental slavery, but psychological, economic, political, all the structures. And it's interesting that song was used from a speech that Marcus Garvey made, in which one of my mentors, in fact, when I did history, this is one of the main subjects I really enjoyed about Marcus Garvey's ideas about the emancipation, what we need to do, in sort of reconstitute our Africanness by and large. Mm-hmm. And we need to do more. So I compliment your folks again, and I've sent a recording of a session that was done on June, but was replayed yesterday to a group of people, which speak to a lot of the issues that was mentioned to this morning. All right. So you can ask Missy to share it with you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Have a great day yourself. 435-2041. It's open line today on To The Point, where we're taking your phone calls, and you have the option of speaking about issues that you would like to speak about, per se. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Yes. The question of the housing. Mm-hmm. People who are in poverty, people who are at the lower end of the social strata, people who are in dire need of housing cannot afford to pay $30,000 for a flat. It just can't work. Thank you.
All right. 435-2041, 435-2041. I'm also encouraging you, those of you viewing and listening via social media platform, you can send your comments, and I'm just getting the opportunity to log into the comment section, and of course, and I will certainly air some of your comments. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I suppose the gentleman that spoke earlier on about people reapplying for the houses. Seeing that the houses the keys have been in the person's hands already, I don't think there should be no application again. Because people are already selected. And you have more application than houses. So what difference would it make with people reapplying? I don't think it makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, you cannot fulfill the desire with the amount of people at these houses. Right?
All right.
And you have people that apply and was given keys already. And these people, you say that they don't have to apply again, but the application will be kept there among other persons. What sense does it make if these people are given keys in their hands already?
Well, certainly, I understand where you're coming from, but maybe we are just suggesting. I'm subject to correction. They're probably a new housing project that's soon to come.
No, but
and the applications are being told to come in for that.
No, that's not what it said. So let us not suggest that, because they didn't say that. People that apply for the houses, they were given, they had their scrutinization, and they were given the keys, which means they did a selection already.
Okay.
So if you select people already, and you have more applications, what is going to happen next time when you build more houses? You're still going to have more application again, because there's a dire need for housing.
Get your point, caller. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your point this morning. But I was only alluding to the fact that maybe there's another housing development coming, and more or less they will be taking applications for that section of houses that will be coming then. You understand? Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Seems to that caller is not ready for us yet. 435-2041 is an open line today for To The Point here on K105 and GBN TV. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Yeah, Mr. Telesford, I beg your humble indulgences.
Go ahead,
I'll be brief.
Go right ahead.
I would just like to refer to something here to get a little clarity, you see, because the way I learned things when I was young seems to have changed. I want to play a brief clip from a news item which came out I think it's Monday afternoon, all right? I hope you can hear it. It is from a Ministry of Education official sharing pertinent information, quote unquote, with the people of this here country. Listen to this.
The Ministry of Education disaggregated
No, I started. Oh, just a minute, please. I'll be right here now.
For the public.
Just a minute.
And the date for application was July 28th.
And so the Ministry of Education would have sent out an electronic form to the schools and to the public. And parents, they fill the forms and send it to the schools. The schools then would have sent that information back to the ministry.
Mr. Telesford, did you hear it?
I heard it.
Can you tell me what exactly this goodly gentleman wishes to tell the people of this here country? Or what do you think one like me, should understand from what he said? A senior permanent secretary, Ministry of Education of my here country. Can you share anything on that, sir?
No, I can't.
Very well. I agree with you. But then there's one more thing I want to tell you. The news yesterday evening, even this morning, was played. Referred to a portion of road in Laborie to be constructed by contract by one company called Hanover. 2,610 kilometers. I ask, is there an editor in that radio station? Check it out and see, Mr. Telesford. You see, I'm blind, but I hear very well. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, will you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Rollo. 435-2041, 435-2041, and we're taking your calls. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. How you doing? Have a great day.
Same to you. Go right ahead.
Two things. With respect to the
housing program. I believe, if I would have to advise the government is to cancel out all housing program by government, except the minor repairs. You see, I believe the problem comes in when you politicize this thing and building these houses, that the money you take to build this house, you could do infrastructure so that people could access lands, to buy lands and to build houses. I believe people should be given the chance to work, earn, go to the bank, build a house of their choice. So government will not have this problem. It is politicized, and as long as it continues that way, it's going to create more problem. You should not be able to build houses for people if they have the chance to build houses for themselves too. In terms of the question of slavery, we're talking about slavery and all the components of the ills of slavery, but what we're not talking is how are we going to unite our people. We fight on the political level, we fight on the people level. No one is making a serious effort to get our people together. That's what we need to do. If we could try to get our people together, the question of slavery and reparation will not apply, because we'll put our people to work, give them an opportunity to develop. But we do not have the people with the capabilities to unite our people, and that's where the problem is, sir. I wish we could address that.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
435-2041, 435-2041. But I understand the caller's first point, but in relating to that, it may run into the same problem. Supposedly, government decides to offer lands to individuals to build their own house, but then it still may come down to the same saying where we may say, well, it's been given to folks who support the particular political organization. As much as it's been said, who are getting the houses now that are available are being given to individuals who support a particular political organization. So there's going to be that back and forth anyhow you take it. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning. Briefly, let me tell you. One, now there's an accident waiting to happen in Perseverance. Because right on the corner by where Miss Tima operates this metal stuff there, metal collection business there, she decided to open a shop right there, and the guys who are liming it, they have a tire almost to the middle of the road. Now vehicles are forced to swing away because why? They sit down there and lime and drink all kind of a nonsense, and when rain falls, some water gathers right on the edges. So to prevent themselves from being wet when vehicles pass, they have a tire in the middle of the road. Now, as far as I know, that is an obstruction. Now, to add insult to injury, the police vehicles passes there every single time, and it's like no big deal. But the morning when a vehicle will swing away from that tire and run into someone on the ground, somebody on the other side, or run into another vehicle and there are casualties, then we will hear all kind of a big thing, that investigation and all sorts of nonsense. These things need to be addressed ASAP, because you find like people have to swing away. And it is, I'm telling you, it is an accident waiting to happen. And I guarantee you it is going to happen. Because every day they keep putting the tire more and more into the middle of the road. I just passed there and I saw it again. Then there are some overhangings that would have, like trees and things not fell right down, but they are somewhat leaning over the road, bamboo and so on. And I think that, that ought to be looked into, because, it can come down at a moment's notice when someone is driving. So, it's just that people need to just, look at those things in them and see how can it be addressed. Thank you.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. We taking your phone calls. I'm taking a peek at social media this morning, especially our Facebook comments this morning. And let's take some comments from Facebook before we actually go back to the phone line. Some things we're saying may be untrue. We assume the houses is political, but it may not be so. Let's move on. That's a comment there from someone. There must be a system that determines one eligibility to get into those housing, of course, program. Not the one politically, not ones who are politically affiliated. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
How
Oh, very well, thank you, GT, and thank you for the program. I'd just like to add a little bit to the discussion this morning, and it regards to the fishing boats that are moored along the Carenage. Some of the boat owners tether the boats across the walkway, so the footpath you have to literally skip over, which becomes a hazard to walkers.
Yes.
Some of the boats are tethered in a way from Hubbards all the way up to Nawassa, I think. They seem to be growing in numbers for these fishing boats. I wonder whether or not there could be something done to get these fishing boats near the fish market. I know it's a controversial matter, but I don't want to be walking along the Carenage with these boats with somebody's underpants blowing in the wind, to get their clothes dry.
I understand that. Or maybe you ask maybe a new tendering, of course, location for the boats.
Yes, because it's unsafe. People literally have to skip over the ropes because some of them tie them across the walkway, so you end up with elderly people trying to walk through it. I don't know if anybody's fallen in the sea before, but it is unsafe, and I just wondered if something can be done about it. That's my contribution for today. I mean, the Carenage could be such a lovely place, a lovely thing that we can use to have like a street food night or something, close it off, and use what we have as an asset. But those fishing boats need to go somewhere else.
All right. Thank you for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041, and we're taking your phone calls. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Maybe the first time I'm calling your program.
Oh, thank you. Welcome.
Concerning the housing. Now, I think most of the people who wonder it do not understand what they were in place before the housing distribution. This thing started since in Gary days, right? So I know about how they distribute the houses. They don't have nothing to do with politics. They have the different committees who are in charge of selecting and so on. You'll go to the people who apply, you'll see the condition, you'll see whether or not they could afford, what they could afford to pay, and all these type of criteria. And that will, tell you exactly who is entitled to the house. Nothing to do with politics. This thing was created a couple of years ago, but not so it's supposed to be. So the new government has to, get the elderly people who knew how it's supposed to be done and get it on the right track.
All right.
So then, so it would not be political. The thing was created,
All right.
So we got to move from there, okay?
All right. Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. 435, we're looking at a comment from someone via the WhatsApp. They're saying that sometimes when you apply for a house, the worker will put the form in the garbage. Say they have experience of that per se. Well, I am just reading a comment from someone. Say they may have experienced that. True to the fact, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's take another comment this morning before we go back to the phone line this morning. A question I want to know is the president parliamentary rep and those non-elected ones have to help selected people for road work? I saw non-elected ones in by a grocery shop, but the non-knowing. Still a bit distorted in terms of how the information is written there, so I will not go any further with it. Anyway, let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Telford.
Good morning.
I'm just calling to get some more information about that date to the 23rd.
About the 23rd. I'm not sure what happened. That caller probably has an issue with their phone there. I just seem to have lost connection with them. 435-2041. Before we continue, let's take a break. And when we come back, we certainly will take more of your calls here on To The Point for today. It's To The Point for today, Tuesday, the 23rd day of August. Let's take a break. We're coming right back.
This could be out. Brilliant catch. What a stunning catch.
The biggest party in sports, the Caribbean Premier League, is back and live on GBN television. Capture the energy, excitement, and euphoria of the beloved game. 34 matches, 6 teams, only one to be crowned champion. The action starts August 31st and runs until September 30th. Live on GBN Television at K105.5 and 105.9. It's no carnival, but you will enjoy the mass.
And you're kidding me! You are kidding me! Alzari chose.
Safety is always a top priority, and this is no different from the COVID-19 vaccines.
Welcome back to The Point for today, folks. Tuesday, the 23rd of August. We're inside the final segment of the program this morning. We're moving up to exactly 15 minutes before 10 o'clock. We have a call online. Let's go over to the call. This caller, we may have lost that caller there. 435-2041. Trying hard to read some of the comments, but sometimes when I do get to read them, they are somewhat out of sync in terms of what the conversation is at this morning. So sometimes I divert from continue reading them. But trying to get some of the comments in this morning. And let's take this one. He's saying time for those boats to be relocated. Just saying it's an eyesore along the most picturesque harbor. When the Prince visited, they were moved, and then they need to be go over by the fish market. It's a more suitable area. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. I don't know if I get cut off. It's me again.
Go right ahead with your comment.
Yeah. Today is the 23rd, and when there was this good morning there, the gentleman speaking today was the 23rd and what happened in the slave trade. But they say it was in the first Monday in August, but now we are on the 23rd. What I would like to know is there are people that went away and learned the history of our country.
Yes.
But when they come back, they emulate themselves and use you to be on the same slave mentality. They don't teach you nothing about it. And this is what have some of us in the situation we know. When they go and they get the history, they use it to uplift themselves and not to the smaller man. Right. So I would like them to teach it in school and tell the youths about their country and what did happen and what happened to their foreparents. Because sometimes our foreparents go through hell and tribulation and them have the self-shame to talk it to us. And sometimes they work hard, send us to school. And we don't even want to hold their hand to let them spell the name. We're embarrassed about them. So I want this thing to stop. Okay. And I hope we learn about it and get it clear so we are better men and women. And not to take advantage on our own self.
All right. Thank you, caller, for your contribution. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's an open line this morning here on To The Point, which means we're taking your calls. You have the option of just calling in and sharing your views and concerns. 435-2041. Let me take a peek at the WhatsApp comments this morning. Let me see who have chimed in there. Let me take a peek at this one. Let's see what this comment is actually saying. Let me take a caller before I actually read that one. Go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Mr. Telesford, good morning, and how are you?
Doing okay.
Right. Mr. Telesford, I have a concern. I am telling you, I'm saying what I know. There's 3 women in Mongrambi area. And I know They came from England. They're getting their pension. They're getting everything from England. 2, I know the husband died, so they're getting widow's pension. And the name still is on the list, and they're getting this $450. I think it's the seed program every month. There's no need for that. These people, if you see the mansion they live in, and they're getting the seed money every month. A former minister of the New National Party put them in a long time ago. It was a female politician from the NNP. And I believe that should stop. They don't need the money. Give the people who old, I don't mean old in a bad way, give it to the senior citizens so they will be able to buy their medication and buy a little bit of food and live. These people don't need that money, and this administration should look into it and make the necessary changes. Have a good day, Mr. Telesford.
Thank you very much for your contribution this morning, caller. And we have a comment here on WhatsApp. I'm sorry for the people like myself for unfortunate reasons have to make these schemes out of homes. I'm specifically referring to the Monge housing scheme, where they have a gift, where that was a gift from the last government, and to give to people as a gift, but instead it's rented out to us vulnerable and needy citizens, and worse, they are so deplorable. Something needs to be done for us. Please visit and a visit should be done by the government, especially the new one. Thank you. So that's trying to decipher the statement that was written there. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Commissioner.
Good morning, caller.
Yeah, excuse me. I heard that, well, I didn't know what went before, but I heard a gentleman made a comment, and he referred to voodoo, obia, and witchcraft. And what surprised me was his question. And he said, we make it evil. They make it evil. But if it is not evil, I would like to know what it is. We look at people who are on the street, and you could tell they were, and I could mention a few of them who were normal people working in the job, all of a sudden they just become like drakes and vagrants. That's witchcraft. That's voodoo. That's evil. If this gentleman,
do you know that for certain, caller?
Well,
folks that have mental problems that they got into that stage doesn't mean that evil isn't responsible for that.
A person who is in the spirit, you would know. And he's saying that this is not evil, well, he must be part of that thing. But he has to realize that this is evil and it is demonic.
All right, thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution this morning. I don't agree with that 100%. Doesn't always mean that because someone has of course, a bit of a disability in terms of and being in a mental state, that was a reason for them getting to that level was for evil purpose. Evil was done to them. I don't agree with that at all. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, GT. I'm okay, thank you.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, here I am again, 6 months after uncle brought his nephew into my house to do some work for me, which they never did. Took $600 from me.
So you're saying you still haven't had that problem rectified as yet?
Correct. And it seemed like nobody, because I have tried nearly every place. You know? I have gone to inspector, I have gone to big people. And all you're hearing, nobody cannot find the guy who stole my $600. And I think this is so unfair. It is 6 months. This happened since in February, March, April, May, June, July, August. And nothing is being done about my $600. I'm an old lady. I don't walk anywhere.
All right.
And I think this is extremely unfair.
All right,
I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go again, because it seems nobody cares.
All right, caller.
So I'm just calling again because this must be about the third time that I am calling, and I have gone nearly every place possible. and nothing is happening.
All right. Okay, caller.
Thank you.
And this caller's been calling me for a wee bit with that particular issue there, and haven't heard from her in a while. So I was of the opinion that she may have come to some sort of resolution pertaining to that now, but she just alluded that still hasn't, nothing has done about that since. So bad. So someone in authority will probably set up the police per se, because she has gone to the police umpteen times pertaining to this and seemed like there's no resolution to it at all. Not getting any help, as she said, they can't find the individual who has taken her money per se. So that state of affair. 435-2041. We just have around 5 minutes or so left on the program this morning here for To The Point for today. And let me see if I can grab some more of the comments per se via Facebook. There are those who continue to milk this country without concern for the poor and vulnerable. No conscience at all. This is happening all over. The NMP only look out for votes. Once you vote for the NMP, they look out for you. NMP look out for their own, irrespective of the NDC. NDC has a weakness when it comes to ensuring that their supporters benefit from the state after working hard. All right, and let's take another phone call. Go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller. How are you? Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning. I'm not sure if I missed something because I came in sort of late.
It's an open line today, so we
yes,
just...
but I wanted to address the concern about the housing.
Go right ahead.
I heard one of the callers say that keys were given out to persons. And it's a little bit mind-boggling because I recall that one of the first post-cabinet briefings that we had since the new administration took place was with Honorable Minister Telesford. And he explained the situation regarding the houses. And he also went further because somebody asked him, one of the media persons asked him a direct question as to whether people will have to reapply for the housing, and he said no, that they were taking new applications and that persons who had already applied, they were just going to keep those on record and go through them. So there was a sort of process. I think they were developing a TOR or something like that.
Okay.
Some sort of terms of reference to determine maybe if you're really eligible for the houses. Okay. So that's what I understood. So I'm surprised to hear that people are calling and saying people got keys to the houses. So why aren't they living in them if they got the keys? What's preventing them from living in the houses?
That's an important point there.
You know, so right. I'm not sure if there was an update recently that said that they had to reapply, but at that time they didn't have to reapply.
All right. Thank you so much for that bit of clarification.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. 435-2041, 445. 40 minutes left on the program this morning. We're taking your phone calls. 445-2041. And looking at the comments that is we're throwing out this morning in terms of the comments via our Facebook page. Let's continue to look at the YouTube this morning. Not seeing any comments there. Back to the WhatsApp. And let me see if there's any comments that need to be thrown out. And the MP win, but his party not in office and runs the affairs of the state. So NMPites accept once and for all. And NMP is our office. So respect the new administration and their program. So trying to still decipher the comment there just a wee bit. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm calling concerning this thing about slavery. You know, I've heard...
I missed the program this morning, so I didn't... That's why I'm not commenting more on it when folks will be speaking about it, because I actually knew but sort of missed the whole part when they were live this morning. I missed it. So you go ahead with your comment.
Yeah, what they've said is very enlightening. But my concern is, where are we going? I think when they have these programs and they talk about slavery and where we came from and the ability of the colonizers to destabilize our minds, they should try at the end of each of these things to help us to clarify our thoughts and to give us a sense of direction, a sense of the need to unite, that we can do better for ourselves, and to let us help us to understand that growth takes time. When things change suddenly, generally is destruction. Rainfall, you wash on a whole set of thing, but you plant a tree and it takes time to grow and then bear fruit. So what they have to do, yes, is good for us to know where we came from, but we need to be constantly reminded of the direction in which we're supposed to be good.
All right.
These so-called intellectuals, I'm saying so-called cautiously, they should help us to get our minds around the fact that unity is strength, and that only with it.
Seem to be having a little bit of an issue with your phone there, caller, for so you would seem to have I have lost you there just a wee bit. We're getting to almost wrap the program up this morning, just about a minute or so left. And looking at a comment here via the WhatsApp, there are more than one low-income housing schemes. Why don't people listen? Keys was handed over for the Beauchajou houses. That's what this individual here is posting via our WhatsApp. And so probably this individual do have some information that we previewed to before. And what's the final? Let me see if I can read another comment here on the Facebook. There are some adults, children, still living with parents, taking serious advantage of the elders. Some of these grown children are working, have their friends most dressy and friends in public homes. It's a nightmare, and this should be a way of seem to God sideways with that particular comment there. And folks, well, that's what we come to the end of To The Point for today. It was a pleasure being here with you this morning. Join us again tomorrow. Should be having, of course, a guest in tomorrow, hopefully. So join us again when we have another edition of To The Point. Let me say goodbye, and thanks to all who called in and participated somewhere or other, whether it's via comment via our WhatsApp or Facebook page. Thank you so much for being part of it. Thank you once again, and have a great day. Here on GBN say thank you once again. It's the end of To The Point for today.